And Bruce is the type of guy that, was he the type of guy who wouldn't listen to many people, or people would maybe be fearful to approach him due to his presence? And you would have been one of the only guys who expressed what you believed in order to be honest with a friend, really.
Yeah, and that goes, right to this day, to be honest. I mean, I think it's an obligation of being a real friend. You gotta, everybody who becomes famous, if they're really smart, they should keep one guy around from the old neighborhood,
Okay.
to tell them the truth. You know what I mean? You don't have to take the advice. You know what I mean? You can ignore it, but you ought to have one person who's not afraid of you. They'll tell you absolutely the truth, and that was my role at the time, and to some extent still is, really.
And that's what's so fascinating. As a lot of listeners of this show will know you as the portrayer of Silvio Dante in the iconic Sopranos. Did you use your personal experience with Bruce to embody Silvio Dante?
Yes, in the end, it grew very quickly into that relationship, because it was the only character that wasn't in the script in the original pilot. Because once HBO said to David Chase he could not cast me as Tony, he said to me, you can do any other part you want, And I said to him, now that I'm thinking about it, I really feel quite guilty taking an actor's job. And I said, I really shouldn't be taking another cat's job who's been working for years on this. So he says, listen, all right, I'm not going to, in that case, I'll write you in a part that doesn't exist. All right, so you're not taking anybody's job. And so I became this underboss, sort of consigliere that was also kind of a diplomat, and would kind of an ambassador for the family to go out, and then by the second season, it had really become the consigliere and underboss, and was using my relationship with Bruce because I knew exactly what the dynamics were. Sometimes you'd be the only one being honest, and you'd make the boss really mad, and they would get really mad at you, man,
And you grew up with Bruce before he was big, and you grew up with Tony before he was big.
Yeah, that was the biography I wrote.
Would he be laughing with you about the fact that he kind of would see a bit of the relationship between you and him in the show when he watched it, and kind of say, I know what you're doing there, and find the whole thing funny?
I think he did. Yes. I think in the end he did. Yeah, he said, he said, that's the real you, the little Steven part is the acting. He says, the Silvio's the real Stevie Van Zandt.
What was it like, though, to act opposite your good friend, Jimmy Gandolfini? The performance of him in that show it's completely breathtaking. Was method acting a part of it? Was it true that he used to get himself angry deliberately and to deprive himself of sleep in order to capture the character?
He was a method guy, yes. I've described it as the greatest acting school one could have possibly gone to, and I mean that. I mean, as I've said a million times, you do a scene with Jimmy Gandolfini, you walk away a better actor. There's no doubt about it.